Are you actually preparing your dog before you leave? Or just walking out and hoping for the best? Most owners do the second one, every single day, and their dogs pay the price in ways that don't show up until the damage is already done. These simple things take less than 2 minutes before you leave. But what they do for your dog's mind is something no toy and no treat can ever replace. Why your morning routine is secretly destroying them. You think you have a routine. Your dog thinks they have a countdown. Every morning, without realizing it, you run your dog through the same psychological sequence that ends in abandonment. The shower runs, the coffee brews, the shoes go on, and with each step, their cortisol spikes higher. By the time you reach for your keys, researchers found their stress markers are already 68% above baseline, and you haven't left yet. But the cruelest part of this isn't the routine itself. It's what some owners do trying to be kind. That last-minute belly rub before heading out. That quick burst of play to tire them out. Those flood your dog's system with arousal chemicals at the exact worst moment. Dr. Patricia McConnell calls it emotional whiplash. Full-speed excitement, then sudden, total abandonment. Their brain never recovers cleanly from that combination. Your loving goodbye is triggering their grief response. Stop and really hear this one, because it's the mistake almost every loving owner makes. That goodbye you give your dog every morning, the long eye contact, the soft voice, the "I'll be back soon, baby," feels like love. It is love. But veterinary behaviorists discovered something that reframes everything. Emotional farewells activate the exact same brain regions in dogs that process grief. Not worry, not mild stress. Grief. Every single morning, your dog's brain is experiencing your departure as a loss. And the data behind this is brutal. Dogs who receive emotional goodbyes show 40% more destructive behavior in the first hour alone than dogs whose owners simply walked out. The owners who seem cold, who just leave without ceremony, their dogs are calmer, more settled, less destroyed. Sometimes the most loving thing feels like the hardest thing. The 5-minute touch that switches off their panic. Here's something that takes 30 seconds and works better than most expensive anxiety solutions on the market. 5 minutes before you leave. Not right before, exactly 5 minutes. Walk to your dog and place your hand flat and still on their chest. Don't pet them. Don't speak. Don't make eye contact. Just hold steady, unmoving pressure for 30 seconds. That's it. A team at Tufts University found this single technique reduced panic behaviors by 73% in their trials. What it does is directly activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the biological system responsible for calm, the exact opposite of panic. Heart rate slows, cortisol drops, their body physically shifts out of emergency mode. But there's one condition that makes or breaks this entirely. You have to be genuinely calm yourself. Dogs read chemical changes in human skin. Your anxiety doesn't stay in your head. It travels through your hand, directly into them. Why rushing out is the worst thing you can do. Every owner who rushes out the door thinks they're being merciful. Get out fast. Make it quick. Don't drag it out. Hidden cameras proved this is exactly backwards. Dogs whose owners rushed out showed the highest panic scores of any group in the study. Their brains couldn't process the sudden jump from full presence to complete absence. The nervous system needs transition time, and when you don't give it, panic fills the gap. But something almost absurdly simple fixed this completely. A 30-second pause. Right before leaving, owners simply stood still. No interaction, no petting, no talking, just calm presence for 30 seconds, then walked out. Dogs whose owners did this were 60% more likely to settle within the critical first 15 seconds after the door closed. 30 seconds of stillness. That's the difference between a dog that panics and a dog that rests. Where your dog stands tells you exactly how scared they are. For the next week, watch where your dog positions themselves in the 10 minutes before you typically leave. What you see will tell you more about their anxiety level than any behavioral test. Dogs who plant themselves directly between you and the door are running cortisol levels 85% higher than dogs positioned anywhere else in the house. They're attempting to physically prevent the departure, and every time they fail, that trauma compounds. Dogs who shadow you from room to room in those final minutes are doing something even more heartbreaking. They're pre-grieving, maximizing contact before the loss they feel coming. The calmest dogs do something completely different. They settle into their bed or their corner, somewhere with a clear sight line to the door. They're practicing being alone while you're still there. Their nervous system is preparing, not panicking. There's a profound difference between those two things. Why your dog falls apart after your best days together. You've seen this and never understood it. A perfect weekend, everyone home, extra walks, playtime, cuddles. Monday morning arrives and your dog completely falls apart. More destruction than usual, more panic, more heartbreak at the door. Researchers cracked exactly why this happens, and they call it differential stress response following social surplus. The beautiful days flood your dog's brain with dopamine and oxytocin, then ordinary life resumes. The neurochemical crash isn't just emotional, it mirrors withdrawal symptoms. The higher the high, the harder the crash. But there's a fix, and you do it during the good days, not after. 3 times throughout any high-contact day, close a door between you and your dog for 5 minutes, not as punishment, as nervous system regulation. These micro-separations prevent their attachment system from becoming so flooded that normal absence becomes neurologically unbearable. The short trip mistake that teaches them to panic. Quick run to the store, grabbing the mail, back in 15 minutes. These short departures feel insignificant, but how you handle them is silently training your dog's entire response to being alone. Most owners treat a 5-minute errand exactly like an 8-hour workday. Same emotional goodbye, same long pause at the door, same heavy energy. Research tracking heart rate variability found something that flips this completely. For absences under 30 minutes, dogs whose owners gave zero departure ritual showed the least anxiety of any group studied. No goodbye, no special touch, nothing. Their owners simply walked out while they were occupied elsewhere, and their brains filed it under went to another room. The moment you build ceremony around a short absence, you teach your dog that short absences are significant events. Make quick exits invisible. Save every ritual exclusively for the long ones. The 2-minute protocol that rewires their brain permanently. None of this works once. All of it works when repeated. Your dog's nervous system doesn't change from a single calm morning. It changes from 20 calm mornings stacked back to back. So here's the complete protocol, under 2 minutes total. 10 minutes before leaving, touch something near the door. 5 minutes before leaving, 30 seconds of firm still pressure on their chest. No words, no eye contact. 30 seconds before leaving, stand completely still. No interaction. Walk out without ceremony. That's everything. The dog who shook at the sound of your keys. The dog who tore through furniture. The dog the neighbors heard crying 3 floors up. 20 repetitions of this protocol, and that dog becomes the one lying calmly on their bed, watching you leave, already settled before the door clicks shut. They don't need your emotion. They need your calm. Give them that, and you give them everything. Comment. Calm below if you're doing this tomorrow morning. The water bowl check that prevents hidden panic. Most dog owners kiss their dog goodbye and never once look at the water bowl. That's a bigger mistake than you realize. Dehydration and anxiety share an almost identical physiological response in dogs. Elevated heart rate, restlessness, inability to settle. When a dog is already stressed about your departure and their water bowl is empty or low, their body can't distinguish between thirst signals and panic signals. The two responses merge and amplify each other. Researchers studying kenneled dogs found that adequate fresh water reduced stress-related behaviors by 31% compared to dogs with limited water access. Every single morning before you leave, fill that bowl completely. Cold, fresh water, not topped off, fully refreshed. This one 30-second habit removes a hidden anxiety trigger your dog was never able to tell you about. The mental drain that makes alone time easy. A tired dog isn't just a well-behaved dog. A mentally tired dog is a dog who genuinely cannot sustain panic. Physical exercise burns energy, but mental exercise burns the specific neurological fuel that powers anxiety. 10 minutes before leaving, run your dog through a focused obedience sequence. Sit, down, stay, come, touch, not casually, deliberately, with full attention required from them. This type of cognitive engagement triggers what animal behaviorists call mental fatigue, a state where the prefrontal cortex has expended enough energy that sustaining an anxiety spiral becomes neurologically difficult. Studies comparing physically exercised dogs to mentally exercised dogs before departure found the mentally worked group settled 45% faster after owners left. You don't need a long walk. You need 10 focused minutes that make their brain work hard enough to want rest. The spot you assign changes everything. Your dog needs a place that belongs to them before you leave, and most owners never deliberately create one. Dogs are den animals with a hardwired need for a defined safe space. But in modern homes, they're left to figure this out alone. The result is a dog that drifts anxiously from room to room after you leave, searching for psychological anchoring they never find. Before your departure becomes routine, spend 1 week directing your dog to a specific spot, a bed, a mat, a corner, every time you practice your leaving ritual. Pair it with the grounding touch done in that exact location. Within days, their nervous system begins associating that spot with calm, with safety, with the knowledge that your absence is temporary. Dogs with established safe zones show 62% less roaming anxiety behavior compared to dogs without a designated space. What you leave playing changes their entire experience. Silence is not neutral for a dog left alone. Silence is the sound of abandonment. In the wild, complete quiet signals danger. Predators, isolation, separation from the pack. Your dog's brain is still wired to that ancient interpretation, which means an empty, silent house doesn't feel peaceful to them. It feels threatening. Research from Colorado State University found that dogs left with species-specific audio, recordings of calm human conversation, soft classical music, or nature sounds, showed significantly lower cortisol levels than dogs left in silence. Not television with sudden loud sounds and music spikes. Calm, consistent, predictable audio. Before you leave, turn on something soft. A quiet podcast, a classical playlist, gentle ambient sound. You're not entertaining them. You're replacing the silence that their nervous system reads as a warning signal. The exit door you use matters more than you think. This one sounds almost too simple to be real, but the data behind it is impossible to ignore. Dogs develop what behaviorists call exit point fixation, an intense neurological association between a specific door and the emotion of being left. If you always leave through the same door, that door becomes the most anxiety-loaded object in your dog's entire environment. Their stress response activates the moment they see you move toward it. A simple rotation strategy breaks this completely. Alternate your exit point when possible. Front door one day, garage door the next, side entrance when available. For homes with only one exit, desensitize the door itself by approaching it, touching the handle, and walking away without leaving, multiple times daily until the door loses its psychological charge. Dogs whose owners implemented exit rotation showed a 40% reduction in door fixation behaviors within 3 weeks. Most people will watch this, feel bad for 5 minutes, and change nothing. But the owners who actually love their dogs will start tomorrow. If that's you, drop your dog's name in the comments below. Your dog has already waited long enough.